Like this is good morning, Blake, and I'm going to deliver a message today. And you've heard a little bit of this before, but I was so taken with the Merton prayer that I wanted to focus on that. Is this better? Great, it's covering half my face. When I first read this, it inspired me to just write out little pieces of the sentence structure, kind of in my own interpretation of what they meant to me and how they made me feel. And of course, the opening line is amazing. I have no idea where I'm going. But when I was in this safe parking lot, I had a place to be. I did not see the road ahead of me. But here, I could think about where I wanted to go. I cannot know for certain where it will end, but I can have faith that it will end in grace. Nor do I really know myself. I'm questioning everything. And the fact that I think I'm following your will does not mean I'm actually doing so. It's what I can do now. But I believe that the desire to please you, I can have that desire, does in fact please you as a mission. And I hope I have that desire in all that I am doing. I can examine what I'm doing. I hope that I will never do anything apart from that desire. I can desire that mission is in line with your desire. And I know that if I do this, you will lead me by the right road. And I'm traveling down a good road. And though I may know nothing about it, I'm a lay apprentice. Therefore, will I trust you always? I can lay down the burden of not knowing and doubt. I may seem to be lost in the shadow of death, but I can walk on. I will not fear, for you are ever with me. I can overcome my fear. And you will never leave me to face my perils alone. I don't feel alone. I've never really talked about my spiritual self to anyone with any depth. Thinking about my spiritual self is a struggle. What I do know, what I want to share, is that this church and all the people in it and related to it are my family and my community. This is where I want to be, and it could be doing almost anything I have the energy for. This is where I found my path. This is where I stumble. This is where I think, breathe, feel, absorb. Everyone here, I do my best to touch their struggles, guests and parishioners. I do my best to be a positive influence, and as I keep practicing, I get a little better at it. Have you been so lucky as to not know the feeling of having no one to go to in a time of desperate need? I used to think I was fairly tough. The homeless experience brought me to my knees physically and mentally. I was terrified. When I pulled into the Lake Washington United Methodist Church lot, I was shaking and sweating. I was a real hot mess. But there were others here, like myself. I had lived for a recluse for 5 years, and hanging around anybody was sort of scary. There were lots of other homeless folks here, and they were doing okay. I'd found my first community. Over the next few weeks, I settled in, shared stories, and listened to others. I heard about the church, how to get help, and who to talk to. As luck would have it, I was here through COVID. It was during that time I learned about the true meaning of community. I know I would not have made it through COVID experience on my own. How fortunate I was to be here with my fellow friends, the hosts, the safe parking team. We all carried each other through that tough time. After I got housing, there was no doubt in my mind that I would join the church and be a part of the safe parking program. I was joining the larger community. I've also joined the larger community of fellow Methodists, Christians, other spiritual traditions, and the atheists that support our safe parking program. I've gotten involved in politics. Who is really supporting the homeless, the addicted, the mentally unwell? This is my prayer before I come to the church. Don't be afraid of it. Listen to as much as you can. Send it away in prayer. Give it to some raindrops, the wind, hot, dry air. Remember that you cannot fix someone, but you can accept them. Remember, these folks are a part of community. They may have never been listened to before. Really listened to. You stay around here, you will see incredible strength, courage, and fortitude. Some of our guests are amazingly strong. Before I leave, I'd like to share a small happy memory. During one of my hosting shifts, a guy I did not recognize was filling his plate from a donated meal. He didn't look like a dad. I asked him if I could get him a storage container for his family. He looked at me strangely, and then I knew he didn't belong here. I introduced myself and asked him why he was here. His story was not unfamiliar. He was a military veteran who had been assigned housing in Bellingham, which does not have a good reputation for treating the homeless or formerly homeless well. He had called Veterans Affairs and told them he had to leave now and needed a place to stay. They sent him to our safe parking program. I had to tell him he didn't belong here either. I did that gently. I told him to fill his plate, eat a hot meal, and I would help him. He started to get distressed, but I told him everything will be fine. We have a handy list of local providers that we can use in this type of situation. Because of I knew OCC and had been there, showered, had meals there. I could describe to him exactly what he'd see, and I think he found this comforting. I know I would. What the parking lot looked like, where you turn, and that the police, if he was parked there, wouldn't come knock on his window. I gave him the address, made sure he had it pinned on his phone map. I loaded him up with food and water. He didn't need anything else. I wished him luck, and he left. One of our guests came over and thanked me for taking such good care of him. I still have no idea where I'm going. I'm having faith that I'm going to do the Lord's will, and I have no fear. Thank you.